Time to destroy some crops so I can get paid by the government. Just kidding. That would be crazy. Farmers do not destroy their crops to get paid by the government. That is an accusation that's actually been making the rounds on TikTok and some other social media platforms, that farmers are getting paid $3,000 an acre to destroy a perfectly good crop. Now, farmers will sometimes destroy a completely failed crop, but they're not getting paid a whole bunch of money to do that. $3,000 an acre would be like what our ground here in Kansas is worth. And so to think that would be happening is absurd. So for those of you wondering if that is a real thing, that farmers are getting paid a whole bunch of money to destroy their crops, the answer is no. Now, in this video, you're going to see us chopping some corn that was a failure, and we are technically, quote unquote, destroying it. We're taking it off the field and we're not taking it to the elevator for grain, but we are using that corn for silage. We're going to use it for a different purpose. We're going to make the most out of it. And even if you were to see a farmer disking some failed corn back into the ground, that would not be a complete waste either, because that farmer is recycling those nutrients into the ground. It would never make sense for farmers to destroy a valuable crop that's standing, or pretty much in any case. So in the rest of this video, I hope you can kind of see we're going to be doing everything we can to make the most out of our crops. We're going to be spraying weeds, chopping weeds, we're going to be chopping that corn for silage, and we're going to be cleaning out a grain bin, every last kernel that we can get to take to town to get paid. You have to think of our crops as literal money standing out in the field. We would never just throw away money. Farmers aren't that rich.
Hey everybody, welcome to Peterson Family Farm. Greg and I just switched this truck from having the silage racks on it there to being ready to put some grain in. We're going to empty out this Sioux Steel grain bin. We have been, of course, feeding out of it all winter and spring and then through the summer. And now we're down to the very last part of it. So we're just gonna do one more truck of corn to the elevator. Greg is getting the last finishing things in place here. So once we got the truck ready, we pulled it up here. Oh, it's not quite under the auger yet. I guess he had to leave space for the tractor. Getting the PTO hooked up on the old faithful B, and we'll take a look to show you guys how much corn is left. We just about got our roller mill thing set up here. We had to move the concrete pieces and get a new 6-inch auger because we already busted the hydraulic deal on the first set. All right, so here is the inside of the bin. It's kind of dark in there. So we've already run the sweep around this whole side, probably about 2/3 of the way around. And now we just got this little mound left. We'll see how much of that disappears with this trailer here. And then the sweep will go around again and clean up this couple inches of corn. Just takes a little bit of moving to get down to the floor there. All right, Kendall's pulling the truck under the auger. Get this fired up. Takes it to the center so we don't have to scoop.
beats sweeping.
Definitely does. Look at that nice clean floor.
All right, well, that did a pretty good job all the way around. Growing up, we had to scoop seed wheat out of some of our other bins with a flat floor, and it was a lot of work, and that was only for, a couple thousand bushel, if that. And here, this is 20,000 bushel, and this whole bottom of the bin was cleaned out, I'd say, in less than an hour from when the video started. So that's a huge improvement in technology for our farm, and I'm sure other farms have had this technology for a while, but for us to make the jump from sweeping by hand and shoveling by hand to having this do almost all of the work for us, that was something that I know I am very impressed with, and like my dad and my brother, we're certainly impressed with. And so we're gonna have to run it one more time to get this middle cleaned out, but other than that, the bin is clean and it's ready to record a new family singing in the grain bin video. So we'll have to get one of those filmed for you guys soon. Of course, that'll be on our other YouTube channel, Peterson Farm Bros. And we did one last year when the bin was first built, so you can check that out. But yeah, let us know if you have any songs you'd like to hear us sing in the grain bin in the comments. We are chopping some corn today. It's kind of short stuff. If you may remember from the last video, we were trying to decide whether or not to chop some of this drought-stressed corn that was probably 12, 13 miles from home. It's a long haul to haul this silage way back over home, but we think it was still probably the right thing to do, so we went ahead and chopped it. So we only chopped part of this field. We're going to leave the rest of it to combine, and we like to do that at home as well, but it's definitely an easier decision when you don't have to haul the silage so far. You just have to haul it a few miles. But we're a little short of cattle feed this year, just because the corn price is high enough that we want to combine as much as we can, and so we're going to leave quite a bit to combine. So we'll take whatever silage we can get. We planted a field of forage sorghum this year, so we have that to cut. And then we're also probably gonna chop quite a bit of milo stubble this year as well. So that's our plan for raising feed for the cattle. Normally we are very busy this time of year chopping a bunch of corn for silage, but this year we're kind of delaying it until later in the year, and we're gonna harvest that corn for grain instead. All right, next. Today we're spraying some double crop beans. Soybeans, you can see about a week ago you could still see the wheat stubble, but since we got that rain, these double crop beans have really perked up. They're really starting to grow. They got that rain and they got some nice sunlight, and they're really taking off. So after it has been so dry during July and August, which is pretty normal for Kansas, we're starting to get rains now in middle of August, and looks like there's several chances of rain coming up. So that's the reason why we plant late crops. And these double crop beans, sometimes we'll have some double crops that yield just as high as our full season, because we plant them so late that they get these later rains and they haven't even determined their potential yet. So all right, it's Tuesday morning, 7:30 a.m. Welcome to the milo field. We got some scatter cane. We're out here chopping. This is a bad weed that if you let it go, it spreads. It's contagious. So we got our knives out here. The problem, well, it's nice that it's cool, 7:30 in the morning, it's nice and cool, but it's very wet. There's a heavy dew, so either have to do it in the middle of the day where it's super hot, or you, yeah, or you choose to get wet.
This wet when I did the other mile of fields.
Was it hot though? Kobe's out here with us. I don't know if you can see him. Hey, bud. Hope he doesn't get lost out here. He can hear us. He can hear us tromping through the mile of this. I think he's okay. So we got a big patch here we're trying to chop off, and then I think there's one other patch over that way. But hopefully it won't take too long. So the worst thing about doing this is all this stuff you get on your, I don't know if you guys can see the clouds of pollen that come off of these things, but that's the worst. Just breathe it, and yeah. But overall, the milo looks pretty good. I mean, it's filling in really nice down the rows, but there's definitely a lot of pigweeds out here and some scatter cane. After I planted this field, or we sprayed it and planted it, it didn't rain for a long time, and so the residual chemical that you put down to control the weeds when you plant, it needs rain to get mixed in with the soil, and because it didn't rain for so long, I think that's why a lot of these weeds came through. So nothing you can do about it, but it has rained here at my house more than it has at the farm, so the milo looks pretty nice. All right, we got done. Kobe's soaking wet, and so am I, sopping wet. Also, my shadow looks terrifying. Look like I'm going to Lord of the Rings battle or something. Well, I hope you guys learned something from the video and learned that farmers do not destroy their crops. In fact, they do the opposite. They try to grow the best crops they can to make the most money they can in the most efficient way they can. And if a crop does fail, just like you saw us chopping that corn for silage, we will get an insurance check for that, but it is not a huge sum of money. It's not $3,000 an acre. It's probably $100 an acre, or something that basically covers the cost that we put that crop into the ground. It's a break even. Farmers would never purposely destroy their crops. Those videos you see on TikTok or wherever they've been, you know, that could have easily been staged. There could be some obscure reason behind it, but it's not common. In fact, it's not real. That's not a real thing. So if you have any questions, please leave them in the comments, and hopefully we can answer them for you guys. And again, don't believe everything you see on the internet, and make sure to ask questions from real farmers or real people, instead of believing these TikTok videos that you know, there's no context to them. You got to have context in order to understand what's happening. So thanks for watching, everyone. We'll see you guys next time.